real estate developer. He's a friend of the president.
The leader of Russia. You could think Ukrainians are not going to like this image right here, Garrett. You have a laughing Vladimir Putin inside the vehicle of the president of the United States after 60 to 100,000 Ukrainians have been slaughtered in their country, have been killed in war, and their country was invaded for no reason. No reason. Putin has given reasons, but no reason that any other country that is an ally of the United States or Ukraine has accepted.
Yeah. And certainly a striking contrast to the President Zelensky's visit to the White House when he was asked to leave after that Oval Office blow-up. Obviously, that relationship has improved significantly since then, but it couldn't be more different than what you're seeing with President Putin here.
But this is the first step in what the Russians have said could be 6 to 7 hours. It is unclear. That would have sort of changed the schedule we've seen. From what we understand, Garrett, they're going to meet with their delegations, which could take hours. But President Trump has said he'll know after 2 minutes if they're going to have a deal or not. And then after, there'll be a lunch with those delegations. And then after that, at some point, will be that news conference.
That's right. And we'll know something about this meeting in that news conference before a single word is spoken. I mean, the president has made it pretty clear. If things go well, he wants Vladimir Putin to be with him. If they don't, he may come out on his own and describe what had gone on during that meeting. I think but this first bilateral meeting is going to be the whole key here, right? I mean, how things go in the first 15 to 20 minutes, I think, will determine everything else we see thereafter. The president and the Russian delegation are clearly prepared for the possibility this goes well, where you've got business officials, Commerce Secretary, the Treasury Secretary. Their input only matters if you're starting to have a broader conversation about peace and what the relationship looks like afterwards.
And there might be some awkward moments in this meeting. I mean, you have someone like Secretary of State Marco Rubio, along with the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, who are not friends to Russia, who have been very clear, who have called Vladimir Putin a butcher, who consider him, much like China, enemies of the United States.
That's right. I mean, Rubio's career, going back to his time in the Senate, he was very hawkish about Russia, very skeptical of Russia. He's the lead Republican author of the Senate Intelligence Committee report that said Russia was meddling in the 2016 election, something that this president has long disputed. But he has, very much come around to the president's view on this conflict and on the necessity of working with Russia to achieve peace, that you're not going to get there without negotiations. You're not going to get there by Ukraine winning the war. He doesn't think it's possible for Ukraine to militarily win the war. And so they are in alignment on policy, if not on their general viewpoint towards Russia.
I want to get back to Keir Simmons now. Keir, who has spoken with Vladimir Putin, was just sending me a WhatsApp text telling me that when he spoke and interviewed Vladimir Putin, you were telling me, Keir, that he does speak a little bit of English. Obviously not fluent, but he speaks a little bit of English. You were observing all these scenes as we were watching them in real time, live here in our continuous coverage. Talk to me about some of the moments that stood out for you as both leaders came together, shook hands, and then walked that red carpet.
Yeah, it's stunning. It's already absolutely stunning to see that image of President Putin. And you put it so well, after so many people have died in Ukraine, smiling and laughing, sitting in that vehicle with President Trump. That will be an image that will be replayed and will be rewatched for years to come. That is a history-making image that we just saw live, Tom. And what I can tell you, because I have spoken with President Putin in English in the past, is that it is a very stilted conversation. He does have some English. He's able to say, in my experience, he's able to say, how are you, things like that. And there is video, there is tape of President Putin speaking in English a long time ago, a lifetime ago it feels like now, for example, at Buckingham Palace, giving a speech in English in front of the late Queen. So we do know that he can speak English, but he isn't fluent in English the way he is, for example, in German. So what were those two men talking about? I'll add something else into all of this, Tom, too, is that the last time that President Putin and President Trump met during the President Trump's first term, there was real controversy.